Hey, this is Bond Diesel, and today I want to bring you a quick little speculation video. I talked about this subject on the Echo Cast, my podcast. You can find it everywhere, basically. And it's talking about what the episode 1 is going to be for the Division 2. Episode 1 is the first free DLC that will release. We found out about it back when they did the reveal of the year 1 content, and it's called episode 1 DC Outskirts Expeditions. So I think everyone's been pretty distracted by Tidal Basin, and then obviously the raid coming out. Now that that's out, people are starting to beat it. Everyone's arguing about all that stuff, including myself. I think it'd be interesting to kind of maybe take a step forward and maybe speculate a bit on what episode 1 is going to be. My straight up throw it out there guess is it is survival. Now, I have a few reasons for this. One, it's a hunch. Two is this map came out with the Phoenix edition of Division 2. And what this map shows is a whole bunch of stuff. It gave some clues to like where all the missions were going to be, stuff like that. A video with this map came out before the game released. There's a few things going on here. So you can obviously see these contaminated zones. You can see where the secret missions were, the little orange houses. But what I found interesting was the very top right where it says, who will be the last? And what that put in my mind way back when was that, hey, that is going to be survival. That sounds like a BR survival type deal. So if you look closer at it, it's up here in this top right corner. We do know that with every DLC, there's going to be story expansion, there's going to be map expansion. Julian talked about that a while ago, and I think this is going to be our first little indication of that. To me, it screams survival. Another thing that I noticed with Title Update 3 with the raid is that there are 2 new named NPCs. I want to give a shout out to Shami Soul on Twitter. He's part of the Scrub Club clan on Xbox. He's a very active member with a lot of the stuff I do. And he found this Ethan Michaels, and he pointed this out to me, and Damien Snow. Now, we don't know what they are, we don't know who they are, but what we do know is that they are in this this kind of office, kind of cubby hole that's near the shooting range and across from the recalibration station and the crafting station. And right now there's no use for this. But what we do know is that with most of the activities, there is a person you can interact with. Since these 2 are new, I'm assuming these are going to be NPCs that we deal with when it comes to the first DLC and whatever that is going to entail and whatever we do with it. The third little bit that I found interesting here was in this same room. It's actually in a few different places in the base of operations as well. There is a monitor with a map of DC and quite a bit of the surrounding area, and there's 3 red boxes on it. Now, when the game first came out and I noticed this, I didn't really think twice about it. I just assumed it was hot zones in the map. But when you look closer, what you realize is that it's actually the 3 red locations are outside of the map. Now, one issue I had when I was trying to make a map for this is that it appears this image is stretched horizontally quite a bit, so it made it kind of tough to match up these boxes. So if I show you this image, this is I think an okay approximation of what it's showing us. I don't think it's perfect. It's probably kind of goofy to look at, but it's just giving a general idea of where I think those 3 boxes are. What it seems is that it seems very possible that these are the 3 locations of where the Expeditions DLC is going to open up the map. Now, I've been guessing that the Expeditions map expansion is going to be survival. So I'm wondering if these are 3 different locations where these expeditions could occur and where survival could take place. Now, instead, maybe it's a different type of mode where I'm not predicting, maybe it's not survival, and it opens up these areas to just the regular map. But what I think is going to happen is that we're going to be able to go into these areas for a limited time and go in, do whatever the mission is going to be, and then come back competing with a bunch of other agents, possibly in groups. I've said for a while, I think that survival is going to be very different in Division 2. It's going to be kind of inspired by the first one. but changed pretty significantly. I also wouldn't be surprised if it has some BR influences. That's all I really have. I would love to hear what you think. I've had this idea kind of shot down by people a few times. Obviously, we're all guessing now, but this is my guess, and this is why I've been kind of harking. I think it makes sense to do survival as the first DLC. It's replayable content. It's something that a lot of people were really passionate about, and I think that it makes sense to put out this type of thing at first, especially if it's replayable for months if not years for people, the way that survival was for a lot of people. But I do think most people maybe got a little tired of it after a while because it was basically just the same thing over and over again. But I still think that this is I feel pretty good about this guess. I suspect we'll hear more about this at E3 here in a couple weeks. Now that the raid's out, I suspect that the focus is going to shift media-wise to this first DLC and hyping that up and probably showing us some stuff at E3. So that's what I have for that. If you like the video and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below. Bond Diesel is the username on Twitch, where I stream multiple times a week, and where you can find me on Twitter. If you want more Division 2 discussion and updates, check out my podcast, The Echo Cast. It's on iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, and you can find it on Patreon at patreon.com/theechocast. You can get access to episodes early and a bunch of other stuff. And that's all I have. So until next time.